Hello and welcome to another episode of The Lazy Depressed Stoner, T.L.D.S. So it's been a couple of weeks since I last did one of these. Last week I just didn't really, I didn't feel in the mood. I didn't feel in the mood to do very much. I was in a bit of a shitty place. Found out for definite, 100% that my marriage is over. I didn't handle that particularly well at the time. I'm a bit ashamed of how I handled it when I did. Although maybe what I said needed to be said, I'm not sure. Either way, we're not going down that route. What am I doing? So today, what we're going to start off by doing is I'm going to roll a joint. Now, I said I'm going to try smoking it in various different variety of ways, and we have done so far. Now, today we are going to be using, well, I'm just going to roll a pure weed joint. I've run out of tobacco now. I don't really like using cigarettes in it, although I do sometimes because I'm addicted to nicotine. But I have some really nice weed at the minute. It's a lovely sativa, you might have heard of it, called Alaskan Thunderfuck. It's the first time I've tried it. I've been wanting to try it for ages, and it just popped up out of the blue off a guy recently who I just met for the first time. He seems a really sound fella. He's called Anthony. Hello, Anthony. And thank you for selling me some lovely weed. So yeah, I'm going to grind a bit of that up in my pink grinder because that's for sativa. And I'm going to roll myself a nice big fat joint. And I'm going to tell you about some stuff that I've been up to. I say it's been a really busy 2 weeks, I'll be honest. So I had my last 2 weeks at my old job. I had my last 2 weeks at my old job, culminating in the end of that week on nights, which I ended up not doing the last 2 shifts because I couldn't be asked. I just didn't want to. But I didn't let them down. I told them in advance that I didn't want to, and they understood why. And didn't give me any grief for it. So that was really kind of them. I really liked them. They were a nice bunch to work for. It's a shame I had to leave. It wasn't the most interesting of jobs, but everyone seemed really friendly. I didn't talk to many people. Most people were very foreign. But never mind. Very foreign. I don't know what very foreign means. I'm foreign, aren't I? Well, whatever. But they didn't speak much of my language, and my language was not the chosen language to speak in the workplace. Arabic, I think it was, which unfortunately I'm ignorant and know nothing of. But they tried to speak a bit of English, and they were really pleasant when they did. So I'm gonna miss them in a funny little way. I was only there a short time. It was a nice little job. I enjoyed it. Another tick on the things I've done box. And then. So I had like 3 or 4 days off work that week, and then a week, and now that we're in. So I've done a full week at the new job as well, which has gone quite well, I think. Obviously, we all have nerves about starting a new job in a new workplace, new people and all that, and all the general nerves that go with it, plus also the fact that my qualifications were I got in the UK, and I'm now in Canada, and this is the first time I'm doing this job in Canada, and I'll be honest, things are a bit different, but I'm really trying my hardest, and I'm going to learn, so great, we'll carry on with that. And I quite enjoyed it, actually. I was doing a bit more work out on a construction site. I've never really done that before. Very cold at the start of the week, and then luckily the weather warmed up, but it's not going to next week. It's going to get colder, and it's going to get colder, and well, I'm quite looking forward to it in a sick kind of way. Yeah, it should be good. Toughen me up anyway, if nothing else. So yeah, I've done that. I'm quite pleased with myself for that. I'm glad I made the step into that, took that leap, and it's also benefited me in a few other ways because I had to buy a load of tools to start work. So now I've actually got some tools. So now, which forced me to spend money on tools. So now I can actually do some of the jobs that I want to do around the house. So now I'm just saving up for to actually buy some materials to do some of the work with, which is coming with payday. Hopefully, we should be able to see some home improvements over the next month or so. I'm quite looking forward to it. December is one of those months where if you're on your own, which is something I'm going to come back to in a minute, you have a lot of time on your hands when other people are very busy. So I'm looking forward to really getting my teeth sunk into doing a bit of DIY over the festive period. And I'm hoping that some of my Christmas presents off family and friends is either money or tools, which would be lovely. And they're not watching this, so that's fine. So I said I'd go back to the people who are on their own. I'm learning a lot at the minute, a lot about me, a lot about life, and a lot about others. And one thing that's particularly sprung to mind at the minute is something I'd never really realised before. People who don't have a lot of people around them. Like currently me, I'm lucky because I do have people that I can video chat, and that's good. But I don't know many people. But there's people I know that have been, their lives have been like that for quite a long time now, and it's totally made me realise how shit it can be when you're totally alone, and how shit it must be. There's some people that I know, and that's just people that I know. They might go weeks or months without talking to anybody that they really know, and potentially without anybody picking up the phone and giving them a ring or knocking on the door and just making sure they're all right or anything. And as I say, that's just people that I know. There must be people who are in a much worse off situation, and being lonely is really shit. Like for me, I've now started 2 jobs, and I've had to go, for the first time in my life, I've had to get up in the morning, go to work, get ready and go to work, and then do a full day's work in my new job with all the stresses of that, and then come home and I've absolutely nobody there to be supportive around you, to give you a love, to give you a cuddle, to tell you good luck, or to say how did it go. Even though I did have a couple of people messaging me, and later on in the day I spoke to a couple of people on like FaceTime or whatever it is, and it just felt really fucking like I was alone in this world. And obviously I know I'm not alone in this world, but it just made me realise. I was kind of sad for me at the time, but I've got over it. I think it's okay. What it made me think about more was the fact that there's so many people out there that are on their own, and I'd never appreciated what they're going through on their own, and they might be on their own for good reason, because they're not pleasant company for other people. They might just have separated themselves from society because they're tired of for whatever reason. People can end up on their own by accident, and I think I'm never going to forget what it was like for me during this time, going through a rough patch and not having anybody at home to love me. And I am making a pact that for the rest of my life, I'm going to do something to, it might not be a huge something, but I'm going to do something forever to help other people who are in that situation. I can't do everything for everybody whose situation that I've been in, but I am going to do something to make it a little bit better for some other people. I don't know what. I'm gonna have to work it all out. If anyone's got any suggestions, feel free to drop me a line or fucking message or whatever you put on here, however it works. But I'm on Twitter, so add me on Twitter and then tell me how to do it. So I'm gonna remember lonely people for the rest of my life and try to make their plight a little bit easier. And we've come to the point where I have finished rolling my joint. Do you know what? I'm going to take a little picture of it, and then I'll post a picture. In fact, I'm going to turn my board over. I'll tell you a little story about my board. So yeah, I'm going to take a photograph. I'll have to take a photograph on my pad, so it's going to be pretty shit. Just put it up there. I'm going to tell you a little bit about this board that it's on. So basically, this board, I have had it my entire life. Well, I say my entire life. Basically, so I've taken a photograph of that. I'm going to add that to the video. Oh, my phone's ringing, but I can't. Sorry about this little market, but I will call you back as soon as I can. So I've taken a picture of my joint. It's quite pretty. I'm quite proud of my joint. It's not for everyone. It's not everybody's joint. It's my joint, and I love it. So my board, this board here, I've had it since I was since the day my sister went to university. Sorry, bear with me. I just realised the ashtray is not in this room. I have returned with an ashtray. So, funny that the ashtray came on the same day. So, yeah, basically, the day my sister went to university, this is a horrible, horrible story. I'm so mean at the time, but it's true. I waited in bed until I'd heard them leave, my mum and dad, my sister, who went to take her to university, and I jumped out of bed. I put all my stuff in her room and took all her stuff out of her room because she had a little ensuite. And then that was it. She'd moved out of that room now, as far as I was concerned. I didn't even consider the fact that she might want to go back to her own room after university. But when I say I took all of her stuff out, I didn't. Some of the stuff that she had in there, I wanted to have kept. And this board was one of them. I think it used to be the thing that you stand on when you get out of the shower. It's made of cork. And I moved in there. The same day I took my mum's chair from downstairs and the TV. And I made a whole setup, built it in the wardrobe, which is a sliding door, and I had a screen and a computer in there and a wireless keyboard and mouse. This was years ago, before anyone was doing all that sort of shit. And this worked perfectly as a mouse mat. And I was a smoker at the time as well. I smoked weed at the time. And it was before the days we had grass in the UK. And if you see all the little black marks, that was when I was burning hash to roll it. And as it turns out, I've come back around in a full circle and I've got a little bit of hash there, and I've made more marks recently burning it on there. Same on the other side. When I first came to Canada, I was heartbroken. I knelt on it and I snapped it in half. It wasn't a clean snap. It was still kind of holding on in there a little bit, and I filled it full of super glue. and I've started a little collection of stickers along the crack. It seems to be holding up okay. I'm so careful with it now. But I use that board for everything over the years. I've used it for rolling joints on, writing letters on, eating meals off. A keyboard and mouse. It's been with me a long time. We've spent a lot of time. I've rolled a billion joints on it, and yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things that's important to me. Came to Canada without a question, and yeah, I love it. So yeah, anyway, I'm smoking this joint. I'll let it go out again. This is lovely. I am smoking a sativa at 6 o'clock at night on purpose because I've got a few hours and I've got a few things I need to do in the meantime. So I purposefully, I've just smoked a pure sativa, and that's great. I should be a little bit perky, and well, you can tell I'm a little wired. I've smoked a few of these today. Let me just have a quick look at my notes and we'll see where we're at. Just so you know, the cats seem to be having a little war. You can't see that they just ran past underneath the camera, but they're running around the house chasing each other, and I might have to run off in a minute because Steve will probably get the better of Salem, and then she doesn't know when to stop, and they end up with loads of black fur everywhere. Fucking hell, Daddy's got to step in and sort it out. So in the past 3 weeks, I told you I was going to mount my TV on the wall, and I did that, and then I told you, I showed you a picture that I think I had some wires dangling down and I hadn't mounted the plate. Well, I've now done that, so my TV is hung on the wall and the wires are coming out of a little plate next to a little thing, which is a lot neater than it was. There's a bit of a confusion of wires down there. What I'll do is I'll take again some pictures and I'll put them up there and there or whatever, and we'll I'll let you have a look for yourself. As I say, it's still a bit of a mangled web of wires under there, but it's a lot tidier than it is, and this is the first time ever I have not had any wires coming out from around my TV, which is pretty cool. I really like that. Oh man, that is really nice. I'm also taking the time while I'm smoking my joint to have a quick look at my notes. So there's not a huge amount left on my notes, I'll be honest. One of the things is that I wanted to talk about, maybe I've been thinking a lot about my future, what I'm going to do, how I'm going to do it, whether or not any of my plans are viable or how I could go about any of them. I've got a few. One of them is, and I'm pretty certain of it, I really want to do a stoner campsite. I've got quite a lot of experience in the catering and hospitality industry. I've got a fuckload of experience of being a stoner, and I think running a campsite would be awesome. I've done a lot of camping. I've watched a few campsites start up. I think if you add weed to the mix instead, as well as selling it there possibly and making money on that, and I've got a few ideas for doing it, and I think I'd really like to have it as a big stoner fest where every weekend stoners can come from all over the place and sleep in all sorts of different things, from yurts to little huts to their own tents or teepees, or I don't know, a group share teepee or a group share yurt. You could share with your buddies, share with your pals, or you could have a little bed in a common room teepee or something like that. I don't know, something cool where we can bring people and stoners together and we can be relaxed in a nice chilled out environment in nature, maybe have a campfire. I really fancy the idea of having like a drive-in cinema, but not drive-in, more like a rock up and pull up a blanket, sit and chill out watching some films while you're camping. I don't know, something along them lines. Maybe you could have festivals where you have I don't know, a scare fest, or I don't know. I don't know. I've got so many ideas. And the other thing is, as well as that, at the same area, the same space, I'd like to try and maybe do some form of therapy. Not me running therapy classes, me providing a space for someone to run therapy classes, or therapy weeks away, or weekends, or I don't know, little somewhere for people to go. It's an idea I've had for quite a long time, and I've been kind of building on it over years. I really want to have my own piece of land a little bit further away than everyone else, like no neighbours, within a few, at least 100 yards, if not more, and then have some space where I build my own house and then utilise that space and make a living off the land that I've got, doing what I do best. And I look at all of my skills and I think I could culminate them all together to being quite good at that, and I think it would be a successful business venture. As a lot of people think that I'm just a crazy stoner and I'm never going to amount to anything, I think, actually. But fuck you, I know better than that, and the people who are worth knowing also know better than that. So, yeah. That's all I have to say about that. Watch this space, see what happens. I'm working on it, working hard. I've got a fairly good job. I've got a plan, and it's just a shame I'm going to have to do it on my own. I had a plan to do it with two of us, but that's life, I guess. So yeah, what I've been trying to do recently is stay as positive as I can. I'm not doing very well at it, I'll be honest. I've had some really bad days, but on a whole, I'm trying to look forwards and at the future, and find my path, my place. I don't think I have a path. I think I've got to make that path. I don't know whether I'm the same or different to other people, but I need to make that path for myself, I think. And it's not going to be something that anybody else has done before. I'm going to do it exactly my way. And we'll see how we get on. But I feel like when I started doing these videos, I was really low. And I feel that I'm getting less low than I was. I wouldn't class myself as being on a high in any way, shape or form, but I'm definitely less low than I was. And I realise that I'm not the only person who's ever been through this, or this is not the worst situation for anybody in the world. There's so many people in so much worse than this, and I'm so lucky that I've got the people I have got around me, and I've been in a fortunate situation to be able to keep a roof over my head and maintain a reasonable standard of living. I've had a little bit of help, and I've managed to keep my head above water so far, and some people that's not even fucking close, and that must really suck. I don't know how they get through life, I really don't. And as I say, this has taught me so much. It's taught me about myself and my strengths and my weaknesses and some of them, and it's taught me what I need to do to make sure that at least I acknowledge how this has been and do something for others that can make it a little bit better. As I say, I don't know what, but we'll work on it. And I'm going to carry on working on me as hard as I can. But for the time being, I'm going to finish smoking this joint. I'm going to have a chill out, and it'll be nearly time to phone one of my buddies. I better phone Mark back after he called me earlier. So yeah, as always, thank you for watching. Stay happy, stay stoned. Add me on Twitter. Subscribe to this channel. Yeah, keep watching, and I'll see you again. Thanks very much. Bye bye.